On this episode of Star Wars Time Show, Nick and I have so much stuff to talk about, it's honestly not even worth going through it all. We've got Jon Favreau crap, Daisy Ridley crap, Sith Trooper crap. There's so much crap, I feel like we're drowning in it. You know what? Cue the music. Hey now everyone, welcome back. Yes, it is a Friday show, and honestly, it's going to be the last Friday show, but don't worry, you're still going to get your content every day, same days, maybe not same days, it doesn't matter. You're still going to be getting probably 1 or 2 new episodes of Star Wars Time each week. We're reconfiguring things because that's what Star Wars people do. So as you heard from the announcer, who was a little short this week, there is a ton of stuff to talk about. I'm talking 8+ topics. Those are just news topics. Of course, it's Friday show, so we also have the top 5 to get through. We're going to look through Nick's choices and just heap praises upon you Star Wars artists out there. But before we get there, there is a lot of news and announcements to cover in the Star Wars verse. All right, Nick, so to start things off, I mean, obviously, we took a week off, and we didn't want to talk about some of the news when we did our special cast earlier in the week, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about. But we're going to start with a pretty awesome reveal we got this week that not only confirms some speculation for the Rise of Skywalker, but also laid down how much money you're going to have to spend at SDCC.
Yeah, we get a first look at the rumored Red First Order Trooper that we heard about months ago via some leaks and, some speculation, some rumors out there. We finally got a look at this. It's real, and it's called, drum roll, Sith Trooper.
Right.
The Sith
Which
Trooper.
really, Nick, I mean, yeah, the figure is awesome. I mean, we got a look at a Black Series Sith Trooper, a Hot Toy Sith Trooper, a Funko Sith Trooper. But, I mean, in terms of the Star Wars community at large, the real meat of this reveal was, yes, the Crimson Troopers are legit, and by the way, they are Sith Troopers.
Exactly. And that was, so Matt put out the piece revealing the items, the Hot Toys figures, the Black Series figures,
Nick and I,
else.
between the two of us, we bumblefucked this reveal like only professional assholes could do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And
so
I take the blame because I'm the one that has a little bit more time, and I fucked up the initial reveal 100%.
Yeah, and then I come behind him to give more context behind the reveal, and I don't even use a proper image.
I mean, basically, between the two of us, we sat there with our thumbs up our asses, and we're going, "Duh, Sith Trooper."
Yeah, we were just too stunned by what we had learned to properly
I was
put
all
together
consumed with like the toys and really the as I said, the meat to this, it isn't the toys. I mean, yes, we cater to the toy community because of me, but in the end, it was the fact that it was confirmed, yes, Red First Order Troopers, but by the way, they are Sith Troopers, Nick. So, as you kind of punched up in your write-up, dude, how do we get to Sith Troopers in a movie where there are no Sith?
Exactly. So, and even astute fans, like if you're fans of the EU, if you're fans of the Old Republic specifically, and Matt, you'll know this from Galaxy of Heroes.
Oh, dude, there's already memes going out where it's like, not my Sith Trooper, okay Sith Trooper, my Sith Trooper, and it always goes back to the KOTOR Sith Troopers in those. Yeah. I mean, Nick, they kind of had, it was kind of a quasi-Imperial Guard helmet, but chrome, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was a much... the color scheme was all different. It was very like dark chrome colored, and it wasn't like a First Order or a Stormtrooper type helmet. It did have a very
it was like that
significant difference.
The elongated helmet of an Imperial Guard.
Yeah, a bit like that. So that's already out there. But like you said, Matt, we know Kylo Ren's not a Sith. We've been told that Snoke was not a Sith.
Yeah.
But there is one Sith that has been confirmed to be coming back. Right?
Yep. Sheev.
Sheev is back. And
Sheev, my boy.
And Sheev Palpatine, it's since the reveal of Emperor Palpatine coming back into the fray, there's been questions like, is he going to have followers? Are people going to have like, is there going to be like a cult to Palpatine that's been out there? How does he ascend back into the galaxy? Well, some of the speculation is that these Sith troopers are like a break-off faction of the First Order that are now loyal to Palpatine, knowing that he's, back in the fray.
Well, that's interesting, because I think you kind of proposed as well in your piece that, maybe in this year break we're getting between movies, maybe Kylo has fully embraced the Sith at this point. Or as you're saying, maybe it's a kind of a side faction that's been worshiping Palpatine all along. I mean, you could also speculate, are these people tied to the Knights of Ren? I mean, it's a very... It is, like I said, it's an awesome reveal that we fucked up because of the speculation and rumors and lore and whatever behind it for the movies. But I mean, it's a mystery because there are no Sith. So how does the First Order dedicate a legion of Sith troopers? Who is behind this?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I like the idea that Kylo has finally taken the dive into calling himself a Sith.
Right.
That was, the Sith is a pseudo religion, just like the Jedi was a pseudo religion. By convincing himself that he needs to take this final step to become an actual Sith Lord so he can overcome his weakness, maybe this is a step that he took. And then we finally, we may refer to him in this movie as, Darth Ren or Lord Kylo or however he wants to be, referred to.
It probably would be Darth Kylo if he was going to roll with it.
Yeah, but
so it doesn't quite roll off the tongue, though, right? I mean,
no.
Darth Kylo. I was never a huge fan of Darth Sidious either.
That one's not great.
It rolls off the tongue, but it's just a stupid name because it's literally like, oh, he's insidious. Like,
yeah. And I mean,
good job, George. I love you, buddy. But honestly, I mean,
Dooku's was so bad that they didn't. It's Darth Tyrannus. Like they said it once in the movie.
Yeah, Darth Tyrannus, like really Darth Tyrannus, like what, T-Rex? He's just tyrant. I mean, come on.
I get it.
But in terms of the look of this guy, man, what do you think? I mean, he is the most hybrid of a OT trooper and a First Order, because if you look around this waist, especially in the hot toy images,
I was gonna say
he's got the straight up stormtrooper utility belt that the First Order troopers didn't wear. His helmet, obviously, he's got the eyes kind of split more into the mouth, right?
Yeah. The eyes are slightly different than a First Order trooper. I mean, like if we're look at the Hot Toys pictures, or if you're following along with the post that we have linked in the cast shell, you have the Black Series image first. Scroll down a little bit further, you'll see the Hot Toys, and it's much more detailed. And like you can see the eyes look a bit more menacing than a typical First Order trooper. The helmet also has what almost looks like ventilation slots or striations, like black color striations going all the way to the back. And it does. I mean, whenever you have a trooper like this or any sort of uniformed, bad guy completely in red, it always has a more menacing look to it. And this falls in line. If we look at, Palpatine. Palpatine had his Imperial Guard. Imperial Guards wore red.
Palpatine likes red.
Oh, yeah. But then again, if we look at Snoke, Snoke had the Praetorian Guards also wore red. And then if Kylo has gone down
you could
this
argue
path,
that the Praetorians were even more red than the Imperial Guards, because at least the guards had the black slit.
Yeah, exactly.
Praetorians were literally red from top to bottom.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that this could be Kylo's version of his own style of guard, If he goes, he is now the leader of the First Order, just like Palpatine was of the Empire, and Snoke previous to him was leader of the First Order. He needs his own guard.
All right, so
units.
what classifies them as a Sith trooper then? I mean, what do you think the difference is outside of obviously the armor?
I mean,
are these guys force sensitive?
It could be that. It could be that they're trained in the ways of the Sith, in like a fighting style of the Sith, so they're prepared to fight against Jedi.
Fueled off their anger and hate and all that.
Yeah, and I mean, typical First Order troopers, typical stormtroopers could not stand up to a Jedi. Like, you know, and at this point,
that's kind of
Rey,
what I'm getting at. Is like,
yeah.
if you're called a Sith trooper, you would think you are far more advanced than a common trooper. And again, we know from canon these First Order troopers are essentially conscripted as children, just like the younglings were back in the Grand Republic. They're taken from their families, they're brainwashed, they were made into troopers.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, all right, if I'm a standard FN 2187, how do I get to Sith Trooper?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be the
Are
cream
you
of the
force
crop.
sensitive? I don't know. I mean, that's why I really think this reveal is interesting. Again, not just because of the toys, which we're not going to go through all these. I mean, if you're going to SDCC, here's my recommendation. Buy me the Black Series Sith Trooper. Buy me. I'd even take the Funko Pop. Buy me the pin. Who cares about the kabuki glass, the phone case? Who gives a shit? The little kid's costume. Go fuck yourself. Yeah, I mean, so if you're going, just buy me the toys.
Yeah, get me the backpack because I'll sport that.
All right,
around.
Get Nick the back. I was gonna say the backpack's pretty nice, but I didn't want to get too greedy since I'm asking for all the toys. So, yeah, go ahead and buy Nick the unisex backpack. $70.
Not bad.
75 if you throw in the Funko Pop. I mean, you
So
might
you
as
get
well
the
for an extra
deal.
$5.
Yeah, you get the deal. You sling the Funko to Matt, and then you give me the backpack.
Dude, actually, that backpack's pretty fucking slick.
It is. It looks really good.
I
So
mean,
I
it
would
almost
support
looks leather or pleather, you know?
Yeah, it does. It definitely has like a pleather look towards
Yeah,
the top.
yeah.
I
All
mean,
right,
even
yeah,
that,
you can have that. I'll even
Yeah.
give you the pin right underneath it in the post. You can have the pin.
pretty nice.
Yeah, a T-shirt we'll give to Pete. The kabuki glass I'll give to my daughter to drink shots. She's 3.
Yep. You should get the costume at the bottom for her too. This is a child's costume.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
No, actually, I could wear that because I'm short, so I can.
Oh
fit
yeah,
in
it
that.
says perfect for fans of all ages, kids and adults. There you go.
Yeah, I would totally still fit in that. The bookmark. I mean, honestly, do people really read anymore?
I'll give that to Taylor. Taylor's a huge reader. She needs a bookmark.
She like reads actual tangible books and not just on her phone. Okay.
Nope,
all right,
she
there we go.
reads physical hand books.
All right, so any of you listening, if you're going to SCCC, we basically have earmarked everything that is Sith Trooper early access. So Black Series for Matt, Hot Toys for Matt, Funko for Matt, backpack and Funko for Nick, pin for Nick, T-shirt for Taylor, kabuki glass for the cat, and a bookmark for Taylor. And the costume for Matt, even though it's a kid's costume.
There we go.
Okay, so sign us up. Again, we'll have this linked in the post. I'll probably take the effort, even though I hate it, to put it into the YouTube version of the podcast if that's how you like it. But Sith Trooper confirmed. It's real. That is the red First Order Trooper you've heard about, and he will be in force at SDCC. Not only will he be in collectible form, but he'll also be at this new Stormtrooper costume exhibit they're going to be rolling out, which is going to feature every Stormtrooper costume to date, including the newest, the Sith Trooper. So that should be a pretty cool exhibit at SDCC.
Beautiful.
All right, man, moving on. So other fandom, we got some pretty good news for you Galaxies of Edgers out there this week, especially Nick. I mean, he's going here in a few months. And it was kind of curious to me because, Nick, Disney announced this week that Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, which is the 20-plus minute ride that is supposed to change what it means to be an amusement park ride, Disney announced that it's actually going to open first at the Orlando version of Galaxy's Edge, which, by the way, hasn't even opened yet.
Yep.
And it's going to open on December 5th, and then Anaheim's going to get their version of the ride on January 17th. So, Nick, to me, the interesting things here, I guess if you really think about Disney and the history, it isn't that big of a surprise, but it also makes me go, okay, well, if Walt Disney World is the park,
Yep.
how did you guys fuck up the opening of Galaxy's Edge and literally open the one in Anaheim in May, and you're not going to open the one at Walt Disney World until the end of August?
Yeah, so I think what happened there is They know that the park in California is a little bit easier to manage crowd-wise. Like, there's not, when you look at the park in California and you look at at Disney World, there's just more volume of people at Disney World because there are so many different parks.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I mean, you're the junkie. So, I mean, does Anaheim kind of have the same setup? I mean, is there multiple parks within this massive area, or is it literally just this is the park, that's it?
Disneyland is just one park. Disney World,
and they just added Galaxy's Edge onto it. It's not, you know what I'm talking about. Like at Walt Disney World, it's like, okay, I'm going to go to Universal today and see this stuff.
Yeah, so
I'm going to go to Disneyland and see the castle, or Epcot and see this.
Yeah, exactly. So with Disneyland in California, you only have one park. And that's all they did was with Galaxy's Edge, they tacked it on to the park. Now with Disney World, you have 4 different parks. You have tons of land that Disney owned. They basically own the size of a full city within Florida. And they have, hundreds of hotels on these properties. They have, tons of people that are constantly over there. So I really think that the reason they launched initially within Disneyland in California is because the population was a little bit easier to control. You would have had a better kind of test group, especially given the location. Los Angeles is a huge media population. So opening it there first, allowing the media people who are in that area in first is kind of good press, good PR. Not that wouldn't have happened in Orlando. And it's kind of like a testing ground. Like they used the launch in Anaheim to basically set expectations for the launch in Orlando. And I do find it interesting that the Rise of the Resistance ride's coming there first and that they're not opening simultaneously. Like I would assume if you're going to open them and both parks are open, you would want to open Rise of the Resistance pre-launch of the Rise of Skywalker at both parks. But the way that it's happening, the way that we found out it's happening in this article, is that you're going to have Orlando open pre-launch December 5th, and then Anaheim's not opening until January 17th, 2020, far off from the initial release of the Rise of Skywalker. So it's definitely an odd choice here by Disney overall. But if you're wanting to get your hands on with Rise of the Resistance pre-Rise of Skywalker, you better start booking your Disney Orlando trip right now.
I mean, it's not even worth it. I mean, I still think Family Caminita should cancel their shit. And you should dedicate one day to waiting in line for this ride, but I honestly think that's what it's going to take.
Oh yeah,
I honestly think this ride line is going to be 5 to 6 hours.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the longest ride lines. I mean, when stuff like this opens up, it's almost impossible to get on it unless you get to the park first thing in the morning and you line up from the second you get in. Now, the good thing is that the way Disney functions now is that they allow you to book your fast passes for rides before you even get to the park.
No, so, I understand. I get that because we just did that in March, but I bet they're not doing that for this shit.
There probably won't be a fast
because
pass.
I believe even with the Falcon ride in Anaheim that there are no fast passes.
Yeah, usually for brand new attractions like this, they don't open it up for fast passes until, X amount of time after it's been open. This one is going to be, you get there, you wait as long as you have to. Just for perspective, I was there in Disney World the first year that the Seven Dwarfs Minecart ride opened in Magic Kingdom.
I don't even know what the fuck that is, but I'm guessing it was probably popular at the time.
Oh yeah, it was super popular. And when I mean super popular, I mean 180-minute wait constantly, 3 hours.
I mean, I was there in March at Universal, whatever the fuck it's called. What is it called?
Magic Kingdom, Epcot,
with all the bullshit, the Star Tours and
that's Hollywood Studios.
There you go, not Universal.
Yeah, Universal's idiot. Harry Potter World.
Exactly. And the the Toy Story line was still 3 hours.
Oh yeah, dude.
If
Toy
you didn't have
Story-
Fast Pass, it was still fucking 3 hours.
Toy Story is super popular. Like there are rides that you will never get in a line that's under 60 minutes, regardless of the time of year that you go, regardless of the weather, anything like that. You're always gonna sit in an hour long wait at least.
Oh yeah, I
Toy
can imagine.
Story,
That's
stuff
why
like
I'm
that.
saying with these new ones, you might as well not even bother going until A, they either implement Fast Pass, or B, you waited 5 years.
Yeah, basically, this is what you have to do. The good thing is that Disney doesn't allow people to line up outside of their parks before, X amount of time before opening. So if you wake up early in the morning, you get up when the first buses start riding from the resorts inside the grounds, you catch that first bus, go to Hollywood Studios, you get in line to get in as soon as the gates open, then you got a shot to get there and get on the ride.
All the shit, it just stresses me out. I'm still sitting here going, where are all the news about the fucking themed hotels? Do those even exist anymore at this point?
Oh yeah, they'll come out, but stuff like that that takes a little bit longer. I guess they delayed the building of the hotel itself to wait until a majority of the park extension itself was done, but there are still supposed to be like you said, the Starship style
cocksuckers. That's all I
hotels.
want. Like, that's when I want to go, because I want to go to the nines.
Yeah,
I'm talking, put myself in the debt for a few months. I don't know when that time's going to be, and I don't know if I can go as soon as I want to because of the way I handle crowds and idiots. I don't like people. In general, I hate humanity.
Honestly, probably one of the better times of the year to go if you want to go kind of soon after it releases, after this park opens and after Rise of the Resistance comes out, February. Like middle of February.
Yeah, you're probably right, but we're still talking about Star Wars. So I believe in my heart that this whole dual park, whatever, opening rides, it's going to be a disaster for at least 3 years.
It's going to be hard to...
they're already... the moment Anaheim went public, they turn away people within the first hour or two of the park opening.
Wow. Holy shit.
The first, a month or so, you could reserve time slots and they'd kick you out. But I believe at the beginning of July or end of June, they went, okay, it's public. And the stories I've been reading, within the first hour or two of opening, it's done.
Yeah, it's packed to capacity.
Yeah, no more people.
Yeah, even the parks in Disney, people don't realize that, but the parks in Disney World actually have a capacity limit, and they will keep people out if they're over.
Yeah. It's just, everyone has just been used to all the multiple parks to go to, and there's never been a capacity issue because it's not been Star Wars. I would imagine maybe the Harry Potter when it first opened, maybe, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
As big as Harry Potter is, it's basically a gnat's ass compared to Star Wars fandom.
Yeah, they'll shut down the parks pretty quick once people start filling in. So I really hope, because I'm going, into middle of November, end of November, that I can make it in every day because I want to go to it every day. I feel like I have to go to it every day.
You're honestly, dude, you're going to basically have to plan for each day, what can I get done within 3 hours at this park? And it's basically, okay, day one, I'm just going to suck it up and get punched in the dick and wait in line for Rise of Resistance.
For Falcon. Because Rise of Resistance ain't going to be open for me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot you guys fucked that up. All right, so day one, you got to wait for the Falcon. Day two, you're probably have to wait to build your lightsaber. Day three, you're probably going to have to wait to fucking, drink some blue milk and steal shit from the park to sell on eBay. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You almost will need a week just to do the basic shit at this point in time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I would wager, I don't have to wager. It's a fact. At this point in time, if you go to either of the edges when Orlando opens end of August, you're not getting shit done in a day. You might get one thing done.
Yeah, I'm I'm ready. I mean, if I had to pick two things to do, I mean, there's stuff that I want to do. I want to walk the whole park. I want to look at everything.
Oh yeah,
experience
that's. I
all
mean,
of
you
it.
have to
It's
do
just
the
not
Falcon.
possible. Falcon, and then the lightsaber.
Yes, I
Those
agree.
are the two must-dos.
I agree, because the rest of the shit is, like you said, you can just kind of walk through and experience it. I mean, buying the food at the food court, big fucking deal. I mean, all right, yeah, it's themed, but in the end, it's still shitty fucking fried food.
Yeah.
The drinks, cool, whatever. They're still drinks.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can buy a Coke in a cool bottle. It ain't gonna take me that long.
Right. You can get your fucking burnt Ronto ass at whatever the fuck the place is called.
Yeah.
It's really going to be the ride, and probably the lightsabers are going to be ridiculous. So maybe the droid building factory. It's going to be a nightmare, and that's why you're going now, not me. Because if I went, I'd probably start killing people.
Yeah, they would,
or at
throw
least
you
jump.
out.
Yeah, or at least jumping off a cliff if I could find a cliff in Orlando.
Yeah. So
anyways, Rise of the Resistance, not surprisingly, I mean, Walt Disney World is the park. And by the way, December 5th is Walt's birthday. That is no coincidence. It's all planned. So Rise of Resistance opening at the Orlando version of Galaxy's Edge on the 5th, Anaheim version on the 17th. So those of you that get to go and do it, all I can tell you is fuck you. All right, so moving on into more kind of just random fandom stuff. We put this out on the 9th of July, and the reason I put it out there is A, because it's an interesting video, and B, because it's one of my good friends. So if you ever heard of Quarter Digital, Quarter Crew, they're a fairly famous YouTube channel, especially if you're in the video game verse. But they've started this new series on Quarter Crew where they kind of sit down and a lot of the times they'll break down VFX in old movies, new movies, if it was good or bad, how to improve. But they do other things, and they're essentially react videos. So you have filmmaking professionals reacting to films, giving their insights, their opinions on was it good, bad, this, that, and the other thing. So one of their most recent videos, they did a stuntmen react video, and the subject of the video just happens to be my boy Hank the Gank. Obviously, that's not his real name. If you watch the video, you can learn his real name. It's Eric Linden. I've talked about him on this podcast before. The dude's been in the stunt game for 14 years. He's a stunt coordinator on The Punisher on Netflix. Doubled Chris O'Donnell on NCIS LA. He's been in the 300 movies, Endgame movies. He's legit. So anyways, Nick, he sits down with these guys, and they're going through some various stunts in recent movies. And lo and behold, one movie they zero in on is The Last Jedi. So I took great pleasure in watching my friend, who I know hates The Last Jedi, break down a stunt-focused scene of The Last Jedi. And why I enjoyed this in particular is because Hank and I don't see eye to eye on The Last Jedi, right?
Yep.
I mean, You know this. We talked about this on the cast. If you're just listening now, I love the guy. I mean, he's the guy that forced me to go to Star Wars Celebration 2 and had my mom make a fucking Jedi robe. I mean, he is a Star Wars nut, okay? He's not just one of these idiots out there that hates Star Wars because Disney took it over, but he's starting to become one of those idiots that hates Star Wars because Disney took it over because of The Last Jedi. So, whatever.
Get on the train, Hank. Come on.
Yeah,
come back.
He's never going to get on it. But I think this video, at least for me, Nick, revealed, and I've kind of known this, it revealed to me why he probably doesn't like it as much. Because I can tell you now that this guy's been behind the camera. He's done some second unit directing on major movies. It jades motherfuckers, all right? When you start working in film, it's clear it jades you in terms of being a fan of film and just being able to go to a movie and watch it.
Yeah.
Because now he watches every movie with the behind-the-camera eye. It's a critical eye, and I don't blame him. It's his profession. So anyways, long story short, doesn't like The Last Jedi, but one of the things that really bothered him in The Last Jedi are the fights, in particular the throne room fight. And as I watched him break down the throne room fight, and again, this is when we had the big reveal that Kylo turns on Snoke and blah, blah, blah. Him and Rey team up and fight the Praetorians. So when I first watched it, Nick, and I'm assuming you're the same way, and I know you didn't like his TLJ as much as I did first time through, and I've kind of lessened on it a bit, but I'm never going to be a hater. When I saw that throne room fight, I was more consumed with the fact that, holy shit, Snoke's dead. These two look like they're teaming up. This is kind of fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I wasn't really paying close attention to the action.
No, I mean, if we wanted to sit down and break down the fight like Eric does here, we would have definitely, I don't think we would have caught nearly all of the things that he would have, but we probably could have been like, these guys are supposed to be trained fighters. How did they fall for, or,
Right.
pick out these, little obvious flaws. But yeah, I was way too consumed in like, holy shit, Snoke just got cut in half and
Exactly.
Kylo and Rey have teamed up. This is badass. And also just the setting and the visuals of that fight were pretty fucking cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, they definitely tricked us with film magic. But when you have a guy like Eric break it down, they slow it down, show it, the fight is beyond pathetic.
Oh, man.
It is so bad. I mean, trust me, I don't agree with this guy on much of his critiques of TLJ because he's kind of in the Looney Tune category.
Yeah.
I mean, the moment he's like, oh, man, I think it's worse, or it's like prequel level, that's when I was just like, okay, you're a fucking idiot.
Definitely not that bad. I can
But
confirm
honestly, when I watched this video of him reacting to the stunts and him actually giving insights into it, I couldn't help but be like, okay, yeah, this fight is trash. It is.
Yeah.
It's a garbage fight. It really is a garbage fight. I mean, the stunt guys in the Praetorian costumes, you can tell they have to delay nearly every move so the actors can catch up with them. Half the time, the actors are swinging at shit that isn't there. As Hank put, it's just a boring fight in general because none of the two Force users are using the Force. There's no twisting, flipping, jumping like Darth Maul did in Episode 1.
Yep.
So, like I said, I won't agree with Hank much on TLJ and why he hates it, but this one, I'm with him now 100%. I mean, if you really watch it from a critical eye, just knowing stunt fights, choreography, how things should flow, it's a disaster.
And look, in this instance, Eric may have the view that he does on the movie, but he is a professional. And, like, he's not coming at The Last Jedi
Exactly.
and the throne fight scene to, like, shit on it. He's literally saying,
Right.
as a professional,
Just
here's
look.
what I see here.
Right, like, look, literally, he goes to swing, but he can't swing because the actor's not ready yet to receive it.
Yeah.
It's
So,
like, yeah, well, when you look at it this way, it looks dumb as shit. I mean, it looks like a choreographed fight.
yeah. And look, we both know, everybody listening should know that Daisy and Adam are not trained fighters. Obviously, they go through choreography, they go through training exercises during the preparation for the movie, but there's no amount of time that these two could put in to bring themselves to the level that these stuntmen are.
Right.
So, I mean,
But
yeah.
neither were Ewan or Hayden.
Yeah,
But,
true.
I mean, this kind of pains me.
Yeah, and I mean, look,
I'm not going to talk about the Rots fight because I'll tell you right now that's basically just as much garbage as this one, but they do use the Force, and there's not as many misses because it's literally the two actors doing it the whole time. And
Exactly.
They're not really dueling with a professional swordsman.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that you can say about the Rots fight, they don't go for kill shots ever, like you said before. The pacing of it is what makes it interesting because it's fast. Like, they keep moving. Like
Right,
you
it's
said,
just their
there's-
moves are just stupid. Like, if
Yeah.
you really look at it, I mean, what is it, Nick? I believe they're still in that control room, and they're literally just
spinning it.
waving swords in front of each other. Like,
Yeah.
wow, 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 wow. It's like, what
Yeah.
the fuck is going on?
That
Like,
fight,
if you're the chosen one, drop your goddamn lightsaber, take your two hands, and squish the motherfucker to death.
yeah, I
Like,
mean,
what do we like? If you're gonna sit there and just be like, wow, 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 look, I can fucking do my saber in a figure 8 faster than you.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Like,
that
what the fuck is this?
when you watch that fight, you can tell that it was made completely for flash and there was no substance there at all. For this, I mean, and you could see it in, if we even go back to the forest fight.
They start riding around those fucking floating things on the lava.
God.
It's
When they're like on the wires, like crossing each other and just smacking their lightsaber. Oh man.
But it still looks more technically complete than that fight in TLJ.
It does, because like you said, it's not professionals mixed in. It's two guys who have been working together for years at that point. I mean, starting from 2001.
Oh, yeah, and you knew. I mean, if you watch any of the extended BTS for the prequels, I mean, those two, if anything, they cared more about their sword work than any other aspect of their performance, which shows.
Yeah,
definitely in Hayden. I mean, I can't really shit on Ewan except for some of his deliveries in Rots. I mean, even then, I don't know if I can blame. I mean, Jedi, what smaller than this? It's like, fuck. Like, that line right there is like, anyone, you watch that shit and you're trying to tell me that Revenge of the Sith has good writing or story, it's like, fuck you.
I was a bit cringy for sure, that line.
How could this happen? What, Jedi? We're smaller than this. What?
But you are right. Like their sword fighting ability, granted it wasn't, the fight wasn't choreographed well, but what they did in it and the skill that it took to just execute what they were executing was impressive. Like it wasn't a fight that was in any way meant to be indicative of either of them trying to kill each other, but like they did some cool spins, they had some cool flashy tactics with their lightsabers, and they moved fast, which is what made it
in the end, brother, it comes down to this. The best sword play to date is still the battle in the Theed hangar between Darth Maul, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh yeah,
there's no better fucking fight. There isn't.
Yeah,
and it's all because of Ray fucking Park.
Yeah, because Ray Park he's a master. He continues to be a master into his old age, and like he carried that fight. He essentially he was like, look, you guys just follow my lead, and I will make you look good, and he did.
I mean, yeah, you're right, but in the sense of the characters, it worked because Jedis aren't flashy fighters.
No.
At least this version of the Jedi. They're not. I mean, if you really want to get nerdy people, we can talk about, what is it, the 7 forms of lightsaber shit.
Yeah.
Okay? Jedi aren't jumping around, using the Force, fucking using the dark side, choking motherfuckers. That's why Darth Maul kicked ass, because he used his acrobatics, the dark side, his lightsaber skills, his bow staff skills. There's no better fight. There really is not. And that's why I still go back to these motherfuckers trying to put TPM as the worst Star Wars movie ever. I'm like, fuck you.
No, and
there's no chance. I mean, there's no chance, especially considering we live in a world where Attack of the Clones was made. But there's just no chance because of Darth Maul, period.
Yeah.
And the fights. And the goddamn song that complements the best fight in Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Duel of Fates. You can't argue about that. There's no argument there.
It is the best, the best combination of everything. I mean, if you want to get down to me, what is the most emotional, memorable, you've heard it before, people. If you listen to this podcast, son versus father, ROTJ, doesn't get better than that.
See, I would like to hear Eric's perspective on what he thinks the most accurate to life fight is in Star Wars.
I'm telling you right now, it's going to be the TPM.
Fun.
I mean, he even brought it up in this breakdown we're talking about. I mean, literally, when he's like, "This is what I would have done," they were showing clips of the Darth Maul fight.
Yeah,
he literally says, "Look at the Darth Maul fight. I would have done more like that, more jumping, use the Force to manipulate your move sets, the area."
Yeah,
why isn't Rey fucking raising people, throwing them, or Force pushing, or fucking doing backflips to get away from stuff?
Yeah. See, I think if you look at all the fights across all the movies, the one that is the most realistic is probably Episode 5, Luke versus Vader, because it wasn't you're meant
right,
to be
because
fast.
At that point in time, Vader didn't have the skills that he did as Anakin, because he is a broken man.
Yeah,
and Luke was still a novice.
Yeah, it was.
So, yeah, no, you're right.
Like, it wasn't flashy. Like, if you go back and watch Empire, that fight's not flashy. The most flashy thing in that fight is Luke jumping out of the
dude, I mean, there's
containment.
Let's be real. There is no, flash isn't even a word you could use for any of the lightsaber fights prior to Darth Maul.
Yeah, I mean, the flashiest thing done in any of them is when Vader threw a saber and cut down the bridge.
And he still throws it like he's a robot. I mean, he throws it like, ugh.
You're like, his whole body turns left.
Yeah, I mean, he literally has to like to throw a little lightsaber, and again, the guy has a force. He literally has to like wing his whole fucking right side around to launch it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the Rache fight. It is everything to me, and on the right day, it can still make me cry now, even fucking 500 viewings in. But it's still kind of a very more traditional fencing, sluggish attack, parry, slash, big deal, move slow. I mean, the fastest it gets is at the end when Luke channels the dark side, and he's like, "You're not going to fuck up my sister." He's like, "No."
Overhand fucking.
Yeah, he runs
boom,
at him. He's literally
boom.
just, he's like fucking sledgehammer slashing his dad.
Yeah.
Until he beats him down with the dark side and then chops his hand off, and that's when he's like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, he's like,
Okay, I may have channeled Anakin a little too much there. I'm gonna dial it back because I'm not a fucking pussy like him. All right, deep breath. Hey, Emperor, fuck you. I passed your test. Eat a dick. Shock me. Right? I mean, that's basically what happened. So,
yeah.
Anyways, it's a good video to watch. I mean, like I said, I don't agree with Hank on most of his TLJ stuff, but in the end, people, that's what opinions are all about. Right? We don't all have to agree on Star Wars, and that's the problem we now face in the fandom, where it's become, if you don't like something or if you hate something, you're a fucking cocksucker, eat a dick.
Nice.
Okay, everyone, just get over it. It's fucking fake. It's sci-fi. Just have fun. If other people want to have fun with one movie and you hated it, who cares, right? Who fucking
Enjoy
cares?
the galaxy far, far away.
But when it comes down to it, the throne room fight in TLJ, it kind of is a pile of shit. All right? There we go. So,
nice.
All right, dude. I don't know what happened this week, man, but it was almost like it was the Mandalorian coming out party. I attribute it to probably Favreau doing the press rounds for The Lion King, which is dropping probably when you guys are listening to this on Friday. So he was out and about talking about it. But the first thing we got here is a confirmation that the Mandalorian is going to be at D23. The surprising thing to me, Nick, is that D23 is taking place a month later than usual, right? I mean, D23 is almost always a July event.
Yeah.
Typically before SDCC, right? Like, it would be going on almost right now.
Yeah, it's like a con, like right in kind of the beginning of con season. So if people, on the video game / comic book con.
Right, because SDCC is next week, or when you're listening, the weekend coming up. So they always avoid that. But I always felt like they either tried to run it before or after SDCC, like immediately, not a month after.
Yeah, the one last year, I believe, was the first week of July. I'd have to go back and confirm. It was either the first or third week. But this one is super late, and I don't know if it has to do with the fact that right now is when all of the, the hubbub around the release of Galaxy's Edge is going on in California, and they're preparing for the opening of Galaxy's Edge in Orlando. It could have something to do with that. But in general, yeah, I don't see a particular reason why they would have delayed it. Like, there's nothing that's coming out aside from the Mandalorian release in November and then the Rise of Skywalker release in December that they would want to push.
Yeah, I mean, thank God they don't have Mary Poppins 3 coming out, or they'd have to delay Star Wars for that, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
we could have been in another
heaven forbid you try to roll out a Star Wars movie in December when you have fucking Mary Poppins coming out.
Mary Poppins is a powerful title.
Let's go ahead and bury Solo so we can give Mary Poppins its time in the sun.
Yeah, so with D23 coming up August 23rd, it is confirmed via StarWars.com that Favreau and Filoni will be there, along with other special guests.
So what do you think, dude? You think they're going to see the same shit we saw, or do you think they're going to do something new and finally release something publicly?
I think that it's going to be something new, because at this point, the material that we saw at Celebrations probably, I mean, people probably know about it, even though they didn't ever release.
It's still not out, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if you can find bootleg versions at this point.
But this is like D23 are like they're your Disney shareholders. Like, you
right.
don't want
I
to
mean,
show
this
them
is
some
like
recycled
Disney
stuff.
Fest. This
Yeah.
is for the Disney freaks. Well, I'm not using freak in a derogatory manner. It's the people that love their Disney.
Yeah, exactly. This is like, this is like Star Wars Celebration for
It
Disney
is. I mean,
people.
it's a fucking. You're exact. That's it. That's exactly what I was gonna say. But I was gonna say it in a lot longer way. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah. So
It is. It's Star Wars Celebration for Disney.
yeah, and with this opportunity, I don't think that they would reuse it. I think that they're probably going to show, especially since we're much closer on August 23rd to the release. They're probably going to show some good new footage that may not be
Maybe like a
seen
full-on
yet.
trailer. You think?
I think that could be it. Yeah, because at that time,
Because I mean, the stuff we saw, Nick, it was either featurette based or just a
scenes.
series of a scene, like literally a whole scene played out.
Yeah, so I think that August 23rd is a perfect time to drop a trailer. So you do the reveal at D23, you post it up on YouTube and all of the social shit after that.
Yeah.
And then 6 weeks later your whole platform's dropping. And that's a perfect way to get the hype started. And then you also have all the other content.
Is this a launch title for sure?
Yeah, this is launch.
Right.
Launch
But
title.
is it November or is it earlier in November?
It's November. I can't remember exactly. We have an article on the site that cites when Disney Plus releases and all of the release titles along with it. I just don't remember. But it's November.
It doesn't matter. Just sign me the fuck up.
Oh yeah, like
come on.
100%.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Like I'll take on this $8 expense a month. Why not?
Yeah. I'll take it happily, and I'll be watching The Mandalorian season 1, and I'll watch any other exclusive Disney Plus content that comes to it.
Really, with Disney Plus, I'm gonna start to consider: do I even need Netflix anymore? But I'm going, because I like watching all these old Star Trek shows they put on.
There's still good shit on there for
I'm
sure.
not kidding, dude. I'm having a blast reliving TNG because when it first came out, you were not even born. I was probably 10 or whatever. Now you would have been alive, but you would have been like a baby.
Yeah, I would have.
Because I think TNG started maybe 91, 92.
Yeah, I was 3 or 4 years old.
I always liked the show back then. I mean, I'd just throw it on casually as a little kid in my room to pass out to or whatever. But I love it. I love The Next Generation, and I'm on season 4 on Netflix. I love Picard. Seeing him again, I'm almost now going to have to buy CBS All Access to see the new Picard series coming out.
Is it the next season of Discovery, or is it a complete? It's just called Picard.
It's literally a series on Picard.
You know what's nuts about that, dude? Is it's been almost 30 years since the release of TNG, and Patrick Stewart looks exactly the fucking same.
I love the guy.
The dude doesn't age.
He's not as ageless as Keanu.
Yeah.
Because Keanu literally doesn't age. I mean, I know you've seen the memes where, they've got like portraits of guys from like the 1400s.
Yeah.
That look just like him. They're pretty much saying that he's essentially immortal.
He's a vampire. He's
immortal. But you're right on Stewart, but it's almost like he hit a certain age, and then once he went bald, he was always locked in at that look.
Exactly. Like as soon as he lost.
But you are
all
right.
of
It's
his
basically
hair.
his Picard look has been his look for the past 30 plus years.
Yeah, he's never gonna drop it either. And if he stays like that, like the only time you ever see his age is if he grows a beard, because it's gray. It's gray.
Because he did that neo-Nazi movie.
Yeah,
where I believe he wore a beard in it because he's like a leader of a neo-Nazi cult. I forget. It's like Green something. Green
it was
Inferno or.
I remember the movie.
It's actually a pretty good movie, and I always loved Sir Patrick Stewart. I do. He is one of my favorite guys. Obviously start with Star Trek and then his X-Men turn.
Oh yeah, him as Professor X was just immeasurable.
Engage, 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 engage. Dude, I'm jacked to go watch an episode after this. I don't know why. I've always appreciated Star Trek, but it's never even been remotely to my level of appreciation of Star Wars. So I've always been that guy. I do like almost love Star Trek. I love the Star Trek movies with Kirk. I loved when they had the crossover with Picard. I love the TNG movies. I don't know. I mean, Star Trek to me, it's always been kind of the more tame sci-fi.
Yeah.
I think the main reason I never loved it as much as Star Wars is because of how boring the ships look. To me, the Enterprise and stuff just looks hokey as fuck.
It's that, and it's so much. I mean, I know that Star Trek is meant for long-form TV. It's a TV series,
Right.
but like the action in Star Trek can't really measure
No,
up to
you're
the
right.
action in
You're
Star
right. I
Wars.
mean, Star Trek is not an action-based series. It's more of a drama, dare I say, a sci-fi drama.
Yeah,
You're not gonna have sword battles. I mean, the phasers are stupid. They're like, pee. It's like, all right. Even the ship battles are weak. It's like shields up, red alert. Okay, phasers, proton torpedoes. It's like, all right, but the ships are literally sitting still.
I mean,
there's
and
no
there's-
fighters or anything like that. I mean, they
No,
have
it's
shuttles.
just like the cruisers are your battleships as well. And I mean, like the people out there who have been lifelong Star Trek fans are gonna hate me when I say this, but like the best representation of action in Star Trek was done by JJ with the reboot.
Oh, of course.
with the first one. I mean, like
of course.
when the Enterprise warps in and blows up the Romulan ship, you couldn't beat that. Like that was as good as Star Trek ship battles can get. Like that was it. And
I mean, you're right. I mean, the Star Trek reboots, it's a bummer that it all fell apart and they couldn't lock up Chris Pine for this, that, or the other reason. But I loved the Star Trek reboots.
Oh yeah, I mean,
the
look,
third one is probably the weakest, but I would have watched another trilogy with that cast. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
the cast was perfect. I loved how JJ kind of rebooted the timeline so you could kind of do this new stuff without permanently erasing everything from the past. But as you said, purists hated it, and I don't know. I mean, as a Star Wars fan, if someone came in and rebooted the prequels, I'd probably be like, sweet.
yeah, I mean,
I'd probably be like, okay, yeah, awesome.
you know, the one thing that was hard and is still hard for like hardcore old EU fans is that there was a lot, like when they came out and said like, hey, all this is gone. Like it was never on screen material, but it was very good stories that people were attached to. So that was the only thing that's even close to kind of what happened with Star Trek. But
I
again, like
still
you said,
feel
it
like it
doesn't
was-
wipe it.
Right,
Like,
it was
it's still
the
there.
way they did it was still safe, and if you just believe in the fake science fiction, by the way, you can justify it. Like, okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, they created an alternate reality.
It's essentially it's a multiverse. It's a new timeline. I mean, yeah, okay, it's out there. We've done it before. I mean, they explained it in depth in Endgame. If you move a stone, you create a spur.
yeah.
Okay, there you go. All right. Anyways, Star Trek within Star Wars. That's kind of what we do. But moving on with the other Mandalorian thing, and I think this is even more exciting, but it's something we've actually written about in the past, but now we have confirmation. So, as I said, Favreau's out on the town promoting The Lion King. He was on Jimmy Kimmel by the time you're listening to this a few nights back, but it's a good interview. I mean, I love Favreau and I love Kimmel. We got the video up there if you want to watch it. But towards the end of the interview, Kimmel being Kimmel, he always goes to try to get some Star Wars stuff from Star Wars people. There you go, my friends. So he asked John, like, hey, man, can you tell us anything about the Mando? And, John gives a quote. He's like, oh, hell is breaking loose in the Outer Rim, and it's about the scum and villainy that now wants to take out the rule of law. What happens? Chaos takes over. But the key thing here is just kind of casually, John reveals, like, yeah, hey, Jimmy, Season 1's in the can, coming out, launching with Disney+, but I can tell you I am currently writing Season 2.
I mean, was it ever in question? Was it ever in question that?
No, it
Mandalorian
wasn't,
is-
Nick. We actually, I looked. We actually do have a rumor post like, hey, rumor John's working on Season 2. But it's still, to this day, to this time, well, who knows when you listen to it what's going to happen. No one from Lucasfilm and Disney has come out and said, yes, Mandalorian S2 is going down. But John himself essentially just confirmed that.
I mean, yeah, John basically, if you want to put it in a sense that's not, putting it out there as official. What they're doing is they have no way of tracking how this show is going to do yet. They can't even see how the platform's going to do yet. So what they're telling Favreau is, hey, get season 2 ready, because when this hits, like, we know it's going to hit. We just have to figure out how big. When it hits, we want to be ready with season 2 immediately.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it's logical. Well, when we saw the fucking panel, dude, we were sitting there going, "How do you end this after 10 episodes?"
No, yeah, absolutely.
With the time, the money, the cast, and how jazzed the cast was, you can't end this after one season.
No, absolutely not. Like, the story, we haven't even seen what the primary story is, but we know that the story is going to take more than 10 episodes to get through. So, like, it's just, it was a false hope if you thought that Mandalorian was going to have one season and we go straight into Cassian as the only other live action. Like, put that out of your head. We're going to have Cassian and Mando going season and season, and kind of flowing like that. So
hopefully, I mean, we're going to have to something to make up for Game of Thrones. I mean, I know we're getting a prequel for that eventually, but we need these long form geek shows. I mean, I'll admit, Stranger Things season 3, immaculate.
I loved it.
I'm not done yet, but compared to season 2, it's like, thank God they're back. I thought season 2 of Stranger Things was pretty bunk, pretty weak. Nothing like season 1. Season 3 is almost making season 1 look silly at this point.
Yeah, season 3 is strong.
Oh my God, the Duffer Brothers, or whoever the fuck they are, it's like they took their notes on the criticism from 2. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, they really kicked it out the park. It is
absolutely expert level streaming TV, bulk TV. I just can't bulk shit for some reason. I can't do it. I can't binge. I don't know why. I can't do it.
It's probably good that you can't do that. For just better overall for your mental stability.
But I know there's some heavy spoilers, and I've been lucky to avoid them. But I just feel like it's a ticking time bomb at this point.
Yeah, you got to get through it. I mean, the good thing
I have 3 episodes to go. I'm on 6, and I'll probably get 6 done tonight, depending on how late we go. But I'll probably still stay up to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. Like, the last episode's like an hour 15, so get ready for like almost movie length.
Okay.
But dude, it's well worth it. And also, this is no spoilers. Last episode, watch into the credits a little bit. You'll get like a Marvel-esque scene.
Oh, there's a stinger, huh?
Yeah, there's a stinger in the credits. So prepare. But yeah, dude, I mean, that was fantastic. And with Disney Plus, we get Star Wars plus we get Marvel. We know that we're getting a Loki Hawkeye series or a Hawkeye Falcon series.
New Captain America. Well,
new Cap.
I can tell you right now, my buddy's already told me Falcon's Cap in this series. By the way.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense because at the end of Endgame, like, also, if you haven't seen Endgame yet, I'm not even going to call spoilers on this shit.
I mean, come on, people. You haven't seen it yet, go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
honestly.
like, Cap gives him the shield, so he's Captain America. Like,
no, because they I don't know if you saw any of the rumors around Far From Home, but they considered debuting Falcon as Cap in Far From Home, but they're saving it for the show now.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Which, by the way, Far From Home, probably the best Spider-Man movie ever.
I don't doubt that. I haven't seen it yet. I'm hoping that we're gonna be able to make some time to go see it this weekend.
Go see it this weekend, buddy. I've seen it twice already. It's great. It's a great bookend to end game. It helps to kind of put that pain to bed while also setting up what's to come.
Yeah. What I also
heard,
the
stingers in that motherfucker, it's like, holy shit.
I heard a very. I don't know if this is true. This is a rumor I read somewhere. But I heard that if that movie doesn't make a bill, that the rights revert back to Sony. And that would be the worst possible thing you could do to Spider-Man as a character.
Sony still has the rights. I mean, I can tell you right now, you go watch a movie, it's Sony this, Sony that. You don't see Disney anywhere.
Yeah, but I think it's that, like, Disney doesn't... Marvel Studios loses the right to use him.
I'm not saying you're wrong. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. At this
point in time, Sony would be pig-headed and ignorant to sit there and be like, no, you guys that have basically turned Marvel into gold, you can't use him anymore.
Yeah,
We're going to go back to ruining him and wasting him.
Yeah, exactly. Like until Marvel Studios and Disney decided, hey, like we will help you with this, Spider-Man was trash. Like,
But the sad thing, I don't even want to call it trash because when they came out, they were good. I mean, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, people, were entertaining for the time being.
they were.
We
One
didn't
and
have
two.
MCU
Three was
before
bad.
that. We didn't know. Yeah, exactly. Three's garbage. We didn't know what quality comic book movies were yet. Right?
Yeah.
So they were good. And I enjoyed the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies.
I liked the first one. The second one,
Second
I
one a
have to
little
go
wonky.
back and watch it again.
It gets a little wonky because they were trying to introduce so much shit to keep it going for the next one.
Yeah, and then the next one never happened. But like everybody hated Andrew Garfield as
No,
Spider-Man.
I did not.
I
did
kind of
not.
liked him. Yeah,
He wasn't bad because he still looked kind of young. I mean,
yeah,
whatever. But for all intents and purposes, Tom fucking Holland is Peter Parker. Like, they finally found the guy.
yeah. I mean, because they went for a kid, like a younger
Right.
person,
It's age correct, this, that, and the
Yeah.
other thing.
Yeah, I mean, I even think that when Toby was doing it, he was in his mid to late 20s.
Oh,
like,
easily.
Like
Easily.
you gotta get if you want an older actor, fine, but like go early 20s if you're gonna go 20s at all. Like find a teenage
No,
kid.
I mean, dude, he's a
Holland
fucking,
is, yeah.
he's a gymnast. I mean, he does a lot of the fucking flips and shit himself. I don't know if people know that. I mean, he can do that shit.
That's impressive.
Yeah, he's a perfect Peter Parker. So, anyways, there's your second tangent of the cast.
Man, we're all over the place.
Yes, but hey, we're about to move into the meat of the night in terms of the news, and that's our episode 9 stuff. Obviously, that's the stuff we still don't know if it's real or not. It's all speculation. But Daisy Ridley, our lovely Ray, I mean, she's been out and about promoting Ophelia. So these are a little old, but, we took a break and we didn't feel like talking about it during our We Love the Fan cast. But anyways, we're here now. So Daisy Ridley, as I said, was out and about promoting Ophelia, and she was dropping a few bombs on the Rise of Skywalker. So the first one she dropped, Nick picked up on. She talks about the fights between Kylo and Rey in episode 9 and how the one fight where we've actually seen an image from, where if you read the Vanity Fair article, you saw the two of them fighting on what looks like the top of the Millennium Falcon.
Yep.
In some sort of water.
Rainstorm.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks nuts. Are they in an ocean? They're probably in an ocean where the Death Star's at. Who knows? But shit's getting crazy. So anyways, Nick, I'll kind of let you roll with this.
Yeah, so, speaking to a bunch of different people. She's on the interview circuit now, and really what she's talking about in this fight is not only the fun that they had doing it. Like she was saying, there was water being thrown at them. They're outside. It's the middle of November and it's freezing. So her and Adam were having a lot of fun with that. But then she also went into how the fight also plays on the relationship building that's going on in this movie between her, between Rey and Kylo, and between these two entities that we think are somehow connected, but we don't know yet. And that's one thing that she really hits on, is that the relationship building that's been done throughout this entire series of movies, not just in the Rise of Skywalker, will come to this beautiful sort of culmination in the Rise of Skywalker. And then also, while talking about the fight and about just TROS in general, the fact that Colin Trevorrow had at one point been on this movie had come up, and she basically didn't go into much detail about what she knew about Colin's cut or what she, how she was going to be involved, but she did say that it was going to be very, very different than what we're going to get out of Chris Terrio and J.J. Abrams.
Naturally, from what we know, he wrote it based on Carrie Fisher still being a living person.
Yeah, and he wrote it based on Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker being alive.
Yeah, story group. Let's not set an overarching narrative. Let's just fucking let these creative artists do what they want.
Yeah.
So smart.
And one thing that I thought was really cool that kind of Daisy called out as a personal growth for her throughout this whole movie is she said that she can now look at TFA and realize how much better she's gotten as a lightsaber fighter.
Well, you know what else I found interesting in a quote, Nick, is that they created essentially featherweight lightsabers for Rise.
Yeah,
I don't know if you read that. Like I've become such a better fighter, and they made the lightsabers lighter, so it actually looks like we're swinging light and not heavy swords.
Yeah, and that's one thing that you could see, like, when you watch the TFA fight. Like, I love TFA. TFA could very well be my favorite Star Wars movie.
But it looks like they're swinging sledgehammers.
They are. Like, the way that they're bringing these fucking lightsabers to the ground, and, like, every hit that they swing or take, or every swing is so massive. It's like they're swinging claymores. It's like, holy shit.
And not blades of light, where literally the only weight is in the hilt.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we may make fun of the fucking the Rots fight, but go watch that fight. Yes. They're twirling those things around like they don't weigh anything.
Exactly, like they're fucking chopsticks.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just such
or
a
fucking
different...
batons, like they're in the majorettes or something.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, the way that it was portrayed in TFA is definitely different than we've seen in anything else. I mean, even in the OT, we talk about the slow pacing of the fight, but the swings were never labored like they were in TFA. It was like like you said, it was like they were swinging fucking sledgehammers. So
it's just funny how the fights have changed throughout the trilogies. Because I mean, in the originals, they literally were using camera props, camera flash holders.
Yeah.
With a stick sticking out of it with like this reflective foil tape on it. Okay, then you go to the prequels where, the hilts are a little bit better, but they still literally just have plastic shit sticking out of their swords.
Oh yeah, like you can, if you said, if you watch the behind the scenes stuff
they break. I mean, you and them
motherfuckers in half.
Right, they bend the fucking blades just from fighting.
Yeah.
Then you get into the new trilogy, and JJ's like, "Hey, I have a great idea. The fact that these are lightsabers, maybe they should light up and actually reflect light onto the sword fighter's face."
Does
that make sense?
Good idea.
It does. So their lightsabers then turned into essentially our Master Effects prop sabers.
Yeah.
Where they actually lit up.
I wonder how much of that actually had to do with the development of these stunt sabers that are lit. Because if you go back to when ROTS and Attack and TPM were being filmed, I don't think that they had the sophisticated prop sabers that they do now that like people can buy. So like some of the shit, like the stuff that you can buy from like Saberforge, Ultra Sabers, Force Forum, Solos Hold, like those are like you can buy legit stunt sabers that have real electronics in them, that have fully lit blades, and you can beat the shit out of them and nothing ever happens to them. So I wonder if JJ just looked at that and said, well, why the fuck wouldn't we use these in our movies? Like, it makes sense the way that those are constructed.
Yeah, so I mean, that should play into this. But I mean, they've been playing up the Rey and Kylo duels in TROS throughout now. So it's obviously going to be a huge moment. Who knows when this particular fight's going to go down? Is it going to be part of the Force Flash fight we've heard about where, they could pop up around Mustafar? Nick put up that concept art piece this week where we didn't even put it on the agenda to talk about because, essentially the concept art looks like I shit on a piece of paper and then pixelated it.
Yeah, it's so hard to see anything.
But if you look close enough, you could sort of make some conclusions that they may flash to Mustafar, which would make sense. I wouldn't mind it at all. So who knows where this fight's going to take place, but I'm guessing based on the Vanity Fair image and Daisy saying yes, that is from the fight she's talking about. I would imagine this may not even be the Force Flash. This could be them literally on that planet we saw the Death Star in the ocean.
Yep.
And they just happened to feel like they needed to park the Falcon in the ocean too.
Yeah, maybe she wanted
or honestly, dude, there's concept art from TFA to where the Falcon goes underwater like a submarine to get to the submerged parts of the Death Star.
Yeah,
so maybe this is after they come back up. Kylo's there waiting. Who knows?
I mean, technically, the Falcon has to be an airtight, contained unit to be in space. So by that logic, it could go underwater. I don't know if it could propel itself, but if you just look at space versus water, you have to have the same kind of containment unit, essentially, whatever. So it could work. Or there's also a theory out there that the Falcon gets completely destroyed in this movie, so they could just literally be fighting on the fucking husk of the Falcon in the water. We'll see. But yeah, I thought it was a fun little conversation that was had between Daisy and then Josh Horowitz over on the Happy Sad Confused podcast, talking a little bit about all aspects of the movie.
I mean, fuck that guy. Fuck Happy Sad Confused. Daisy, you have an open invite here anytime you want.
Absolutely. We
won't ask you any difficult questions.
Yeah.
We won't even talk about Star Wars. We'll talk about whatever you want. You want to talk about fucking making art or Ophelia or becoming a female director? We're here for you.
Yeah.
Our airwaves are wide open. You want to talk about, what your shit looked like in the morning? We're here. It doesn't matter. We won't badger you with these nerdy-ass Star Wars questions.
Maybe one. But we'll see.
Maybe one or two. I literally just want to hear your voice.
Yeah. So the last piece, Matt, you picked up, and it's kind of Daisy responding to the fandom and then how people reacted to TLJ and what she thinks the fan reaction will be for the Rise of Skywalker. So why don't you walk us through that one a little bit?
Yeah, so she said a few things. I mean, we didn't post this one, but she also said that she believes the backlash to TLJ is the way they put the title. It was kind of wrong. It misquoted her, but basically said, "Hey, Daisy feels like the fans were deservedly so that they could shit on TLJ."
Yeah, I mean,
but basically, if you read it, Daisy's saying like, "Hey, people are passionate. Star Wars fans are super passionate. If they didn't like the way it went, then that's their right to voice it." I mean, She wasn't saying, "Yeah, this shit sucked. Eat a cock. Fuck Ryan Johnson."
No, she was literally saying like everybody has the right to their own opinion. I'm pretty sure that's almost one of the quotes. So she's not. I mean, you could look at it however you want to. She's just basically saying that, like, people are going to like it. People are going to hate it. But you can't, you can't do anything about that. People have their own opinions. But, yeah, and this piece, basically what she says is that she doesn't think that there's going to be the backlash that there was against TLJ for TROS. She thinks...
so here's her quote. "I think it's really great. I really do. Chris Terrio had Star Wars Bibles. He was doing his work. Everything is so linked and it works in the universe. He did proper nerd homework. It felt really good doing it. Everything we did felt really, really good. I think they've done a great job with all the relationships, with the fun friendships, and with the strange thing with Rey and Kylo. We finished episode 8 and you know where Rey is. It was interesting going in and figuring out where it is going. I think people are going to like it." Well, Rey, or Daisy, as your real name is, you've once again kind of undercut who Star Wars fans are.
Yeah, you gave people too much credit.
Right. Will some people like it? Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Will everyone like it? Not a chance in hell.
Yeah, I mean, you can go back. There are people that don't like the OT, like any of you just have to realize that there's not going to be one Star Wars film that releases that everybody's going to enjoy. I mean, people hate Return of the Jedi. Why? They're like, oh, there's fucking Ewoks in it. It's like, dude, the Ewoks were badass. The Ewoks literally helped destroy the Empire. So eat shit. They're great. Like, people don't.
Yeah, I mean, come at me, people. I'll be that dumb meme sitting at a table with I love the Ewoks, argue me or whatever.
Yeah, prove me wrong or whatever.
Yeah,
so I mean,
how can you not like Wicket?
And here's the thing, TROS is in a very unique position because it has to do what she said. It has to wrap the universe, essentially. Like, everything in the Star Wars universe, aside from the Old Republic stuff, is in some way, shape, or form linked to the Skywalker saga. And this movie has the very difficult task of saying, here's everything we've ever fucking known about Star Wars outside of Knights of the Old Republic. We now have to close it. So, is it going to be able to do it perfectly? That's a hard fucking task to do. I think that the two guys that are in charge of this movie, Chris Terrio and J.J. Abrams, are the ones best equipped to do it. And I think that...
Well, I think JJ is. I'm not fully sold on the Terrio guy.
Terrio was with him on TFA, though, right?
No. He
thought
wrote
he
that
was.
with Kasdan.
That's true. Good point. So,
I mean, honestly, give me something Terrio's done here.
Justice League
right
Part
now.
2.
Okay.
He did Batman versus Superman. That ain't great.
Okay.
He did Justice League. That ain't
Argo, I guess.
Argo's good.
But that's based on a true story, so.
It is. What did he
Really?
win an Oscar for? He
Argo.
won an Oscar for Argo.
But literally, that's adapting real life to a screenplay, so okay.
Yeah. I mean, let's see.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not impressed by his writing credits.
No. I mean, considering that he's got 1, 2, 3,
Justice
4,
League
5,
Part
6,
2
7.
never even happened.
Yeah.
Literally, it's dead. There's not even a date next to it. Justice League, we know what that is. BVS, we know what that is.
Yeah, those
Argo's
two.
real life.
I don't know what
shit, who
Heights
cares?
is or Book
yeah,
of
the other
Kings
stuff,
is.
like, who cares?
I don't know. Maybe he's like JJ's protege. Maybe he.
God, this guy, like, doesn't even have good credits, honestly.
He doesn't. But, dude, if you look at Rian Johnson's credits pre-TLJ, it's basically nothing except Looper.
And what was the other one that got him Looper, though? He has another famous movie that made him a name.
Or Safety Not Guaranteed or something like that.
It's something. I forget it, but it's something else.
Let me see. I'm looking it up. I'm on the internet here.
But Jesus, man, Terrio has nothing. I thought he had more than that.
Yeah, no, he did. So he had Brick. Brick was that movie.
Brick's the one that kind of made him famous.
Yeah, Brick was that movie that, I mean, it was an indie flick. It definitely wasn't like a huge budget movie. It had Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it.
He did 3 episodes of Breaking Bad. That's not a bad fucking credit.
Yeah, that one's good. And then
I guess I look at a director
different
and writer a little bit different than a writer. I mean, as a director, the guy has what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 professional director credits.
Yeah.
With I'd say at least 14 being legit stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's still not even that fleshed out. He's no fucking J.J. Abrams.
Oh no, absolutely not. It's funny because I'm looking at Ryan's IMDb page right now, and it has his trilogy listed on it. Obviously, this doesn't mean shit.
Untitled Star Wars Trilogy, Episode 1.
Episode 1 is listed under director, but if you go down to writer, he's on all 3. So maybe he's only directed 1, and then he's writing.
Who knows? I mean, dude, honestly, I can tell you, IMDb is essentially ran by the person, so his assistant may or may not have updated stuff. Who knows?
Interesting.
It's not ran by like studios. I mean, you literally, if you're a stuntman, you go in and add your credits.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Interesting find there. He may be writing.
Holy shit! He's a little guy like me.
Ryan.
That's why I like him. I knew it.
What is he short? How short?
Oh yeah, dude. He's
5'5.5".
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like exactly my size.
Nice.
Us little guys are assholes that everyone hates.
But yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, I mean, is she telling us anything? I mean, at least for people like Nick and I that we don't know. Not really. I'm expecting TROS to be fucking the cat's meow.
Exactly.
As Nick just said, TFA may be his favorite Star Wars movie of all time. I think TROS could be it.
Yeah,
it could. It very well could. If they're going to do everything they've been talking about, how they're going to, yes, this is going to sew it all together. 1 through 9, baby. Here we go. Bring on Hayden. Bring on fucking Palpatine. Bring on Ian. We got everybody. We're going to do it. If they pull it off, it has to be the best.
Yeah.
Like, if you get some Anakin in there, some fucking maybe some Vader, some old man Luke, some fucking Yoda, let's throw Kenobi in there. Hey, fuck it. How can it be bad?
If you,
How can it be bad?
if you, 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 if they execute it the way that JJ's been talking about, the way that Kathleen's been talking about, then this definitely does have the ability to be the best movie.
I still contend it has to be at minimum 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if runtime comes out and it's less than 2:30,
if it's less than TLJ, I boycott. I'm over it. I'm gonna start acting like all these other bozo fans.
Yeah, here we go. This podcast could get interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna start acting like a dumb entitled cocksucker sitting here thinking I know better than these people that have been doing it their whole lives, and I'll be like blah 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 blah. That's what you're gonna hear, because
let me tell you how it should be.
Exactly. This movie cannot be shorter than 2:30.
I agree.
No way. And they've proved, your own goddamn studio has proven,
you can play a 3-hour.
You can play a 3-hour fucking movie, and dumb fucks will come see it 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, I've seen Endgame now, and the last 2 times were to do favors for family friends to take their kids because they're fucking lazy assholes that don't like taking care of their kids. I stepped up and said, you know what? Your daughter wants to go see Endgame. You won't take her? I'll do it.
Yeah. Look,
all right. So I've seen Endgame 5 fucking times. It's a 3-hour long movie. I sat there all 5 times from start to finish.
Beautiful.
Okay. And that's the MCU, which I love dearly now, but it still doesn't even scratch my love for Star Wars. So please, people, don't be scared, Bob. Don't worry about Mary fucking Poppins. Just fucking let JJ tell the goddamn story. If it's 3 hours, if it's 3:15, who gives a fuck? People will do it for Star Wars.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. So,
all right, buddy. It's that time. It is that time of the Friday show. Oh, fuck. I just teased the first shot for myself. I spoiled it. I've been trying. I always like, you know what we're getting into, my friends, if you're a loyal fan here. It's time for the top 5. It's Nick's little baby. Throughout the week, I drop them on Instagram at Star Wars Time Show. And then on Friday, Nick sits there and swipes his thumb through it. Not thumb, his thumb through it, and picks his 5 favorite shots of the week. So we are here. It's time to celebrate the fans, the Star Wars Time Show fans, the Star Wars artists. All right, buddy, who did you zero in on first this week?
This week, I'm going to say this. I put it out there. This may be my favorite top 5 I've ever done.
At this.
Because what I was able to do with this top 5 is I was able to bring in Legos. I was able to bring in traditional art pieces.
I have been fucking us up on Legos lately. I've not been sharing as many, but dude, it's gotten worse than ever. Like, I'm not even seeing some of our favorite accounts anymore just naturally.
That's just
Lego Star Wars Tong has disappeared.
What the fuck, man?
I
that's
can't,
just Instagram.
Unless I search them down, I can't find them.
Yeah, that's
Sith Load of Lego. You know, we get him occasionally. He's actually dudes throwing out some Black Series shots now, so
nice.
You know, he's kind of doing what I did, where you were a specialist in one area, moving on to the next. But anyways, let's not take any more spotlight away from Lego Trooper 89.
Yeah,
here.
so this is Lego Trooper 89, and what we have is a fantastic Ayala Secura shot. Now, if you don't know who Ayala Secura is, go back and watch the
it's the Bikini Jedi.
It's the Bikini Jedi with 2 blades. But the thing is you don't see her with 2 blades in the movie. You only see her with 1. She only ever uses one when you see her on
screen. And she never
screen.
talks and literally just sits there and makes facial expressions and gets gunned down in a circle.
Yeah, she got shot in the back on Felucia at the end of episode 3. But what it is a shot of Ayala Secura in Lego form, 2 lightsabers ignited, 1 going backwards in almost like an Ahsoka Tano-like stance.
Yep.
Going right through a B-1 battle droid in the background. Super fun shot. I love when I can find these cool-looking Lego shots that really bring life to Legos, which is something that I would never
here's what's
imagine.
going on, Nick. I mean, when I share this, I can only share a single image. But if you actually go to Lego Trooper's shot of this, he throws BTS on each one. And if you've ever worked with a brick figure, and I'm sure, Nick, you've held one before.
Yep.
You're probably looking at this going, how in the Jesus fuck are her arms extended this way, or her legs, or even her head, for all intents and purposes, right?
Yeah.
Lego figures are literally blah, right? Blah,
They're
blah.
just
Arms move literally up and down, head just turns.
Yeah.
Legs literally bend at the waist. So what I've noticed what Lego Trooper does, he actually breaks the pieces off and uses like this putty
to hold them back together. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm looking at it now. Yeah, that's an absolutely ingenious job here by Lego Trooper.
That, I mean, honestly, for someone that's kind of into toy photography, my favorite aspect these days is to look at if they post BTS. I try to do it myself. Honestly, people, are sometimes where I'm just lazy. I'm like, fuck it. I'm in a zone. Set up, shoot. I'm not going to fuck around with BTS, but I do appreciate it because it, kind of gives you an inside look at how to pull off shit like this. But I looked at these and I'm like, Jesus, man. I love that.
Yeah, and like you could, if you didn't tell me that,
no, you'd think that the Lego poses this way.
Exactly. Like, so it was a fantastic job done here, not only in the posing and the creative solution to kind of get the Lego in that pose, but also the editing and really removing any trace of what was done.
I mean, if you look at the raw shot, it's very plain. I mean, it's like basically in a random room in his house with and like, what is it, like a little tray.
It's got like some rocks in it.
Yeah, with some rocks in it that's, maybe a couple inches wide. It really is. I mean, as I've said, my favorite part of this hobby is the setup and the shoot. That's why I'm still sharing pictures from 2 years ago. I shared a Caesar from Planet of the Apes this week. And our buddy Jason B. Michael's like, holy shit, this is a fantastic shot.
Yeah, I remember. I saw that shot was fun.
I was like, here's the funny thing is that may be 3 years old.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, like, when you posted, I was like, I remembered, I was like, oh yeah, Matt said he's got a bunch of shit that he hasn't posted yet. I was like, why is he posting Caesar now? That movie's been out for fucking ever.
Well, yeah, I shot it when the last movie came out about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, dude, for the first time this weekend, I finally sat down and I went through my iPad, that's where I do all my posts. I just had a gut check. I'm like, all right, man, it's time to go through here and just start deleting some of this stuff that's 2 years, year and a half old. I mean, your skills are improving. I know you feel like you owe it to yourself because you took the time to shoot it and process it, that you got to share it, or that you at least have to process it to get it out. But finally, Nick, I was like, fuck it. Delete. So I've deleted a lot of my backlog. I probably still have close to 100 shots to edit, but these 100 shots now are, I can say, at least within 12 months.
There we go. So the back, you're not going that far back in the log now. You still
I still need to embrace the LIFO mantra now, because I do believe I have gotten better. I've within the past 2 or 3 weekends, we talked on the last cast. I mean, I've spent upwards of 4 or 5 hours a day. My kid's a little older now. Sometimes she's like, hey, Daddy, can you just go away? And while that makes my heart hurt, I'm like, hey, I guess I'll just do some toy photography. But I've taken a lot of shots, used a lot of fireworks, a lot of practical shit, a lot of new figures. So I need to edit those first. That's my problem, because I still have this draw to, well, you got to get the old stuff out before the new. And it's just like, no. If
you do it that way, then everything gets stale.
That's what I mean. I know, dude. I'm a fucking disaster. I'm a disaster. And I do appreciate those of you that have become loyal listeners and you don't just listen when you've been featured. That goes out to South P, Paul. We do appreciate those comments you gave us this week.
That was great to read.
That's honestly what Nick and I live for. And also those of you that when you are featured and we ask questions and you come to us and answer those, we also appreciate that. I forgot.
A lot of Taylor C. Photo, AJG from last week.
Yeah, they both kind of came through and let us know, and that shit's awesome. But South P really kind of touched me there. It's like he actually was listening to my whining. And he actually contacted me through Haywood Pop and was like, dude, share during Toy Pops. I'm like, bro, I do. I'm still lucky even on Toy Pops to break 300. I'm telling you, my shit's busted. And when he's like, well, maybe your theory on the Funko Pop thing is right. It's like, that's why I like this guy.
Yeah.
That motherfucker is listening to the cast, start to finish, through all my bullshit, my whiny nonsense, and he's trying to help.
And look, when I read that, I sat down and I was talking to my girlfriend. I was like, look, Matt and I have been doing this podcast 4+ years at this point. And sometimes it's tough. Like, we know we like what we do. We have fun talking to each other. But like when you put, the time that we put into it, and we put and we don't see the numbers growing sometimes that we want to, or we like have this inflated thought in our head that like, we should have more than we have in terms of listeners.
More. I'm not going to say that's an inflated thought. But we should have more.
But then I told her, I was like, but when I see a message like this, and it was South P's message that you sent us on IG, I was like, this makes it worth it. Like, knowing that we have fans like this who listen and who interact with us and who really enjoy him and Sir Dork and everything, Sir Kylo Dork, and
Jesse. Fucking Papa Palpatine,
Papa
P.
Yeah, like Papa's,
he may hate Disney, but we love him. He definitely reps us well. He promotes every new episode, whether he's in it or not.
Oh yeah, and look, the people. It's you guys that listen all the time. It's you guys that are a part of the Star Wars Time community, which is weird to be able to say. Like, we have
it's
a
happening, bro.
Now.
The other thing that Paul said, South P, that kind of touched me. He's like, hey man, I like that you guys. There's another force in this industry outside of Star Wars: The Black Series. So again, if you're in the industry, you know who I'm talking about. He's another Matt. He runs the TBSFF hashtag Star Wars The Black Series, 107,000 followers. Massive force in the Black Series community. But the fact that Paul's like, you know what? I like what you guys are bringing to the table. You're giving us something different. It's not just Black Series. It's art. It's figure arts. It's Mezco. Whatever figure line. We don't care. So no, we appreciate that shit. That keeps us going because... Nick's being a little modest. He deals with this much better than I do. I am someone that's literally been on the internet for 10 years now trying to, maybe convince people that I'm not just some dumb asshole on the internet, that I put my time in. Through EB, I'm close to 17,000 articles published in 10 years. I'd say 1,500 videos. I do my shit. I create content. Okay?
Yeah.
You
put in your time.
If it's good, obviously not. Because no one gives a fuck. But I feel like finally, but it's still going slow in my opinion, Nick and I might have latched onto something that may stick. We've gotten the feedback from you people that, hey, this is something fresh, new. We don't really hear about it. So, we're running with it. We're always still going to focus on Star Wars stuff when we can. But trust me, we listen to the Star Wars artist community out there. We understand. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the feedback, and we will cater towards you at this point. I'm not even fucking gonna blow smoke anymore.
Yeah.
We are going to cater towards the Star Wars artist community at this point.
Yeah, you guys have been supporting us, and we know that we have listeners out there who listen for.
If you guys like this stuff, shit, we're gonna keep doing it. We will celebrate the art. We're all about it. So, Lego Trooper 89, welcome to the family. Hopefully you listen. I don't even know if you've been tagged yet because, again, the new repost app fucks everything up. So half the time people don't even know when I tag them. Either way, Lego Trooper _89. Phenomenal Lego artist. Obviously, by the name, you should get what he's shooting. He's got way more than this Isla. This Isla shot's old, by the way. And I now that I've seen his gallery, I've snagged a few more to share in the future. But check him out. So, Nick, move us on to the next one.
Move us on to the next one.
It's our boy. It's Mr. Comedy here.
Yeah,
the mashup master.
I love this guy here, Wastujai. He's been in Wastuaji. He's been in our top 5 before.
Wastuaji.
And what I really love about this shot is, like you said, it's a comedy shot. It's a mashup shot. It's a Disney property shot now, if you think about it. Yep. Toy Story, Star Wars coming together. We have his Commander Zurg, and then we also have 3 stormtroopers who look as confused as they've ever been, looking at somebody. Right. I mean, it's just, this is what
they look more confused than when they're holding a blaster in their hands.
Exactly, when they're holding a blaster trying to shoot at a rebel trooper or a rebel hero. So
we finally found something that fucks them up even more than trying to shoot straight.
Exactly. Oh man, what I really love about this is, again, like with these trooper shots, is the posing. The posing here is perfect because what Wastujai does is he really, or Wastuaji, if I keep fucking up your name, I'm sorry, but like what he does is he expresses emotion through what is typically seen as an emotionless character. Right. Like he takes the stormtroopers with their helmet and everything, and he puts them in positions where they actually look like they're baffled and they're confused.
Well, I mean, hopefully everyone understands the tie-in here, right? Because, I mean, the caption's Good Morning Boss, but the reason they're saying that is because literally Toy Story sets up Zurg to be Darth Vader.
So I hadn't seen 4 yet.
Well, so I mean, you don't have to. No, you don't have to see 4. This is actually, I believe, in Toy Story 2 when the whole Zurg thing's introduced, and the play on is, eventually Zurg tells Buzz Lightyear, I am your father.
Okay, yeah. I haven't seen Toy Story 2 in years.
Well, 2 is considered to be one of the wonkiest. I do like it, but, I mean, I watched it literally maybe a few months ago for the first time.
Okay, yeah.
So I didn't watch it when it first came out, but I guess when it first came out, it was kind of considered a black sheep of Toy Story because the story is just kind of weird, but that is where Zurg gets introduced, and it is revealed that he is Buzz Lightyear's dad, and it plays out 100% Empire.
Beautiful.
So that's why he's doing this, and honestly, I actually put in our comment because I always kind of leave our comment and then put the artist comment after that, but Wastujai actually has multiple Toy Story Star Wars mashups going on right now, and he actually has gotten in on the bottle cap challenge with the Darth Vader shot. So.
That Darth Vader shot, the bottle cap.
I mean, as Nick said, Wastujai, I mean, he's a fantastic poser. He also takes very crispy shots. We kind of talked about that on Tuesday. Again, crispy shots to me are ones that look just so fucking clear. They're crisp, honestly. There's no better way to describe it.
Yeah, and the way, like, I don't know where this is put. Is this a diorama or
this has to be a digi, and he's probably using a reflective piece of acrylic underneath there, black acrylic. I have one myself to simulate Death Star floors and whatnot.
I mean, this is a beautiful digirama, plus the way that he captured the reflection there. So like, fantastic job all around, composition, posing, right. The idea behind the shot
lit perfectly. I mean, he's great. He's a great artist.
And thank you to Matt for explaining that to me, because if you wouldn't have said it was Toy Story 2, like call back to Zurg, I would never have gotten that, because like I said, like the last Toy Story I watched was 3, and it was when it came out on Blu-ray.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's the whole comedy behind the shot and the comment of "Good morning, boss?" ? Like, this isn't Darth Vader.
This is not Darth Vader.
But it's kind of the play on what Toy Story did with Zurg and Vader. So
well caught, sir. Next up,
I'm glad you snagged this one here.
I mean, this one, how could I not put this in here? This is from our friend Visual Force at Visual Force.
Yeah, this is
on
Austin
Instagram.
in real life. This is a guy. His account has just fucking exploded.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So what we
have,
have,
I want to know the drugs he's on, or what type of magic he's paid to Instagram.
Does he have an Instagram insider that
right?
He
right,
knows?
because he somehow figured out how to blow through this Instagram engagement nonsense. But anyways,
I mean, shots like this definitely help him, and what we have is a fantastic action shot of Chopper from Star Wars Rebels Phoenix Squadron.
Love Chopper, man.
And he sounds like the teachers from the Muppets, or the adults from the Muppets.
Right, and the best part is it's fucking Filoni. Like, Filoni is the voice of Chopper.
Yeah. And it's just the way that Chopper is. It's not only his voice; it's his mannerisms, because he always waves his little hands in the air.
Oh yeah. I mean, you thought R2-D2 was an ornery asshole astromech. He's got nothing on Chopper.
Yeah, and what Visual Force is able to do here with Chopper is really capture his personality, and then also put him in an amazing action shot. So you see Chopper's like little. It's like a rocket underneath
And
his,
Nick,
his
that's
body.
actually part of the figure. So all that shit shooting out of Chopper,
Yeah.
that's all plastic. And then what Austin did is, I'm assuming, drop some crackling balls behind it to give you the explosion.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, definitely. You can see the plastic mold, and I was wondering if that was a part of the figure, or if it was something that he just added on.
Yeah, no, that's like one of his accessories is the blast off effect.
Oh, that's beautiful. So I mean, the work that Austin Visual Force did here on this shot's fantastic. Like Matt said, you look at the background and it's just this beautiful array of crackling balls and just the fucking
And I can do this
sparks.
now, Nick. I just can't edit the shots and share them for some reason. I have a lot of shots with this fucking awesome bokeh in it. I just
the
for
one
some
that you
reason
put up,
feel like
you put
sharing
up one
shots
recently.
2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, the one you put up recently of Chewbacca running away from the Gamorrean guards, and it looks like a stormtrooper there in the background. That's a solid. It's a good shot. It's a good
all right.
shot.
A little. It didn't quite get the bokeh balls.
Yeah.
But how I justified sharing is like where, and this is all random, dude. Like where the two balls blew up, it actually looked like shells were hitting.
Yeah.
By the characters, so that's why I kept it.
That's what I thought. Is like, oh, there's an explosion behind him. But this shot here, it's so fun, and then it's also like the figure itself really pops. Like the colors, the saturation of the colors on Chopper himself really stand out, even though his primary feature, which is Chopper's head, is orange, and so is the rest, like the other primary colors of the shot are.
Yep.
He still really pops, which is very impressive. So fantastic work here by Visual Force.
I've learned, because I've tried fireworks for a while now, but I was always doing them outside and in the sunlight and whatnot. But now I've actually learned the way to do it is to either, I believe Austin typically shoots at night, believe it or not. I would imagine this shot was done at night.
Yeah.
But what I do now, Nick, when I shoot outside, I'll drop a black piece of foam board on my card table to just provide a black backdrop and then start lighting off my fireworks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, usually if you get your practical effects going right behind your subject to make your subject pop, even with a bland black background, you can kind of wash it out with the awesomeness, which we see here in Austin's shot here. So it's weird the shit I pick up from Instagram and stuff that I just never thought, because I'm always like, no, if I'm shooting outside, it's got to be natural landscapes. That's gonna make it look the best. I want to light up fireworks, but like, nah. I mean, even in the Chewie shot you just talk about, yeah, there's fireworks, but a lot of it gets drowned out in the backlight, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's having that dark background that allows for the contrast of the effects. That's the key.
Yeah. Yeah, so see,
slowly
Matt's
but surely,
learning every day.
I'm learning. The problem is, when I learn stuff, it takes me a year to get it out because I'm a fucking moron.
That's why you got to change that release schedule up. You let the old stuff sit, focus on the new. Anyway, what I really like about this week, what I really like about this week is I was able to bring in a lot of new people, a lot of new artists that we've never featured before. First, we had Lego Trooper 89. We've seen Last Jedi. We've seen Visual Force. Now we move down into Tank Customs, which is a relatively new account. If we look at Tank Customs now, 498 followers. I really hope we can bump them up over that 500 mark here with this feature.
You know what I like, Nick, on this one is that we got this guy 205 likes. On his own account, he got 169.
See, that's what, I also appreciate that.
I know, based on your science and your expertise, it doesn't help the poor man. But in the end, I feel like he's gotten, hopefully, more exposure through us.
Exactly. That's what we're trying to achieve here, is giving Tank the type of exposure that he needs and that he wants. And yes,
well, he fucking deserves it for a shot like this.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic shot. So at TANQ Customs on Instagram, and this is a fantastic shot of a battle happening between Darth Vader and Grandmaster Yoda. And the way
it's Hobo Yoda.
Hobo Yoda, yeah.
This ain't even Grandmaster. This is the re-released archive wave of the Black Series Yoda, which is much more improved, but He's a hobo.
Yeah, and you could tell by his clothing, he's not wearing his Grandmaster Jedi robes.
Yeah, he's got his pimp necklace on. I mean, I'm surprised his fucking snake isn't hanging around. Because, yes, this still ships with the rubber snake. I'm not going to lie. It's still, for some reason, even back, like, in Kenner days, they shipped the Yoda figure with the fucking snake from Empire.
That's so weird, dude.
Right? You remember the snake
yeah,
that
he pulls
that
out
Luke,
of the engine.
Yeah,
and
like literally, Luke. But for some reason, that snake has been attributed to Yoda in figure form from the dawn of time.
That is so weird. But anyway, this shot is fantastically posed by Ryan at Tank Customs, and it really just brings action in a way that you've never seen these two characters kind of intersect with each other, because, you know, when Yoda was fighting and using his lightsaber, Darth Vader was never around. And then when Darth Vader was around, Yoda was out fucking in Dagobah.
Technically, Darth Vader was around the last time Yoda busted out his sword against Palpatine, but yeah,
but not in full Vader.
Not proper Vader. Right?
Exactly. So we see a fight happening between these two. Yoda is either being suspended by Darth Vader Vader's using the Force, or he's jumping down at him, a la his fight versus Darth Tyrannus.
Yeah. I take this as one of Yoda's. Oh!
Yeah,
he's just jumping down like. Oh!
Coming out of a flip right towards Vader. Vader's like, "What the fuck?"
Honestly, if you want to get crazy here, I even think Hobo Yoda could have fucked up Electronic Vader.
Oh, yeah. I think he probably could have.
He would have been too fast for him. I mean, you got to understand, Vader is my Mac daddy, right?
Yeah.
I love the guy. I'm even starting to heal from what was done to him with the prequels. But he's a broken person. I mean, he's literally, as Obi-Wan said, more machine than man.
Yeah, he is a reduced version of himself.
So, I mean, you could argue that the 18 years that Yoda was hanging on Dagobah, maybe he got lazy and fat or whatever. He got arthritis. But, you know, let's be real. If he could do what he did in Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith, 18 years later, he could probably still do it.
Oh, yeah. He can summon up one last good Force fight and then get in there.
I would have to wager Yoda's speed would be too much for Vader.
I agree. I mean, from all of the fights that we've seen with Vader in the movies on screen, he definitely doesn't have the speed.
He's all power. I mean, as you said, Vader should have a broadsword lightsaber.
Yeah, he should.
That's who he is. He's a one swing kill versus a parry thrust slash.
Yeah, if Yoda was able to summon up what he did against Palpatine and against Dooku, he would slice Vader's suit to pieces.
It's still a joke that he couldn't fucking slice up Dooku. Let's be real.
Oh yeah, that was.
I mean, get the fuck out of here. I mean, Dooku, I love the guy. He couldn't. I mean, he could move. He couldn't move as much as Vader could move.
No, he was so.
I mean, Christopher Lee was literally like 96.
Yeah, he was like Christopher Lee was literally in his 90s when
the guy was
filmed.
dying playing the role.
Yeah, so. But this was a super fun shot here by Tank. I mean, the great posing, the great action capture, and then also adding in some effects, some atmospheric effects here. It looks like there's some sparks going on because of the lightsabers hitting the rocks around. I thought it was a super fun shot.
I'm going to go with the effects may be all digital. I don't think these are practical ones. If anything's practical here, I'd say the smoke is. The sparks, just knowing how sparks work practically, I'm going to say these may be added in. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's awesome. And I'll be the first one to tell you, I wish I was better at digital manipulation, because there's some people out there right now. There's an account that we follow. We've been featuring Zupa Bunny.
Yep.
Fuck. That lady, that girl, I mean, she works some magic with Photoshop.
Yeah.
I mean, she's someone that can shoot shit on basically a blank background and then turn it into a movie scene.
I mean, that is truly a skill.
Yeah,
like,
and that shit makes me go, okay, I should probably take advantage of the fact that I'm a professor and I could take college level digital photography and editing courses for free and essentially get a degree in it for free.
Yeah.
When I see her type of stuff, that's where I'm like, okay,
it's like, even if I took these courses, I would never be that good.
Exactly. It's like I still feel like I would not figure out Photoshop. But
Yeah,
anyways, hey, Tank, I don't even know if you know we're talking about you. I don't even know if you realize that we featured you. I doubt it because we didn't get any sort of, hey, thanks. Not that we're looking for that. I really could care less. I'm more concerned with the fact that people aren't being notified that we're featuring them.
Yeah,
so.
That's fucked up. I really hope that that's not the case, and I hope that Instagram can fix what they've been doing. But at Tank Customs, dude is a fantastic photographer. Scroll through his feed, and there's some other great shots on there as well.
Yeah, you did this one? Hell yeah.
Oh, was it the Yoda with the turtles?
No, the last one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm moving on to the final artist. Sorry,
okay,
Tank,
yeah,
not to cut you off, buddy.
The final artist.
Wow.
This piece.
Wow.
So at Tank Customs on Instagram, make sure to follow. This last piece is my favorite piece that I've ever featured.
Wow.
And this type of work done by Marietta Art is mind-boggling to me.
Right.
That a human being
Exactly.
has the ability to do this and create something like this, whether it be through digital art on Photoshop, using a Wacom tablet or an iPad or whatever, or using, hand-drawn skills. The piece of art that Marietta has put together here is absolutely breathtaking.
It's honestly, it makes my brain hurt just trying to think how she did this and how long it took.
Yeah. And
I mean, dude, look. Okay. We've got this badass camo wearing scout trooper with like a Jaws mask as the foreground subject.
yeah.
He's fucking kick ass in and of himself. What I'm saying, Nick, look in the background. Look at the fucking trees and foliage she did, and you got the Ewok getting kicked off. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, like this is
How do you do that?
The level of detail, not only in what you see, like you said, in the foreground with the primary scout trooper, but everything you see in the background, the fires that are going on in the treetops, the bridges, the ladders, the smoke coming up from the fire, like.
Look at dude. There's individual fucking leaves.
Yeah, like
what the fuck are we talking? What's going on? How does this come out of a human's hands?
And look, when we posted this image, we were lucky enough to have Marietta kind of come back on it and interact with us a little bit. And we feature toy photography a lot, and that's Matt's wheelhouse, and he can explain a lot of the things that are done on there, but what Marietta was able to do here with this image that she so beautifully constructed is completely beyond both Matt and I. It is amazing to look at. And when we say that we wish, one, Marietta, if you sell your art, let us know on Instagram, anywhere, because this is a piece of art that I would buy.
Did you go check out her account? Because this is actually part of Portfolio Day, which I guess was a hashtag for artists this week. So this was actually a singular image in probably a gallery of 10 that she shared of her Star Wars art.
Yeah, I can see.
It's all like, I mean, this is kind of her style where it's I don't know, what would you say, like a hybrid lifelike, I mean, it's not full-on lifelike. But it's also not as stylized as a Venomous or a Daz Tibbles,
Yeah. I mean, it definitely has realistic tones and feelings to it.
It's kind of more comic book-ish,
Yeah.
but more artistic. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know how to describe it. Obviously, we're two fucking art bozos.
Yeah, we're dumb when it comes to
we don't know shit. We just know what we like.
Yeah.
And fuck, I love this. I mean,
yeah,
this is
it's beautiful. So Marietta is her website is actually called canonfodder.net. It's Cannon Fodder Comics. So make sure to visit that website because there's other fantastic pieces on there. And I mean,
she also cosplays as a shock trooper, and I believe she built the armor herself. So
yeah,
I mean, this girl is Star Wars from top to bottom. She can do the molding and the crafting for the cosplay, and then she can literally to me shoot fucking magic out of her fingers and create shit like this. And I'm using shit in the greatest form of shit.
Yeah, like I'm not
saying
complimentary.
shit as in shit poop. This is shit as in fucking immaculate. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, she is a member of the 501st Legion, like an actual
Right. Yeah. No, she's a
verified
legit
member.
cosplayer. I mean, she shock troops it. She's the old, white and red.
Yeah. So, I mean, just unbelievably talented artist. Go give this girl a follow on Instagram right now at Marietta Art. She deserves all of the likes, all of the views that we were able to get her, plus more. I mean, her stuff is absolutely breathtaking.
I'll be the first one to tell you. I love the toy photography. It's something I dabble in, so I kind of understand it a bit more. But when it comes down to it, and we've seen some amazing work, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, oh yeah.
The traditional Star Wars art to me still is it's like it's whimsical to me. It's magical. It's almost not real.
Yeah, it's
I have a hard time contemplating looking at Marietta's art here, or whatever the hell is it. Marietta? Yeah, it's Marietta.
Yeah.
Marietta's picture. I'm just going, what in the fuck? Like, how do you even start this shit? Like, I can tell you how I start a toy picture. I wheel out a bunch of boxes of toys, props, and fireworks, and I have a fucking table with some dirt on it, rocks, and a black foam board, and I just go, okay, all right, yeah, Anakin and Obi-Wan, yeah, I'll do that. And I'll take a shot, right?
Yeah.
How does Marietta sit down at a piece of paper, a digital board, a whiteboard, or an iPad and go, okay, today I'm going to go ahead and make this fucking epic scene.
Yeah.
With, little leaves that might take an hour per leaf. I mean, dude, the background, again, to me, just is mind-boggling. The detail in the background, the trees, the individual leaves, all the foliage, the characters in the back, the fires, the smoke. What the fuck? How does a brain even function this way?
Yeah, I mean, I know that it's in our plan to do artist interviews and podcasts with some of the artists, toy photographers that we've featured in our top fives throughout the weeks. I would also like to have somebody like Marietta come on and just completely, blow our minds with something that we have no idea about.
I almost think we're too dumb to talk to an artist like her, though.
Yeah,
like,
I know. We would
be like, hey, we love your pictures. How do you make it with your hands?
Yeah, I mean, basically that would be the one question we would ask, and she'd be like, well, let me explain it to you as if you were a kindergartner.
Yeah, I probably went to school, and I've been doing this for 18 plus years. It's just practice, and my brain was made this way.
Yeah.
So I still contend, I've said it before, programmers, musicians, artists, you have a gene, period.
Yeah, you guys are...
You can try to study and learn it, and you may pick up some of it, but to reach this level that Marietta is at, no. I don't care how much you practice, you are destined to do this shit.
Yeah, it was in her blood to be an artist of this caliber, and the work that she's put in to achieve that goal is just fantastic. I mean, like, you can go through any shot of her on her Instagram and just be absolutely blown away. I mean, there's one in this, the image that we shared was a part of a slideshow, and one of them is just a beautiful, realistic portrayal of Ahsoka Tano as if she was a real person, not a cartoon. It's mind-boggling. I mean, I don't know how much we can gush over Marietta's art, but like any amount of it is not enough.
Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job. So
yeah,
and she's not paying us, by the way. I don't even know if she knows that we exist. So this isn't us trying to blow smoke up her ass. It's just us appreciating the living fuck out of what she can do.
Yeah, so it's beautiful, beautiful work here. That rounds out our top five. So we have at Marietta Art, we have at Tank Customs with a Q, not a K, at Visual Force, at Wastujai, and then at Lego Trooper _89. Fantastic top five. Maybe one of the best top five I've done. And it was a super fun week. I really enjoyed
Well,
all
I'm not
of
gonna
these
lie,
shots.
Nick. You kind of said that going into it. It's like, hey, whatever. I see these shots throughout the week. Whatever. You're not gonna surprise me. He surprised me today. I mean, he's not lying. This was one of the most stellar lineups. I like the mix of new, old, and the art. I mean, again, we don't just feature toys. We will feature the art. It doesn't matter. That's who we are. We are Star Wars time. There's always time for Star Wars time. Sing it with me, people. There's always time for Star Wars time. There's always time for Star Wars time. See? It's not that hard. But you know what to do. It's time to say goodbye, but just head over to StarWarsTime.net. If you're new, subscribe. If you're on a desktop, go to the top right, subscribe to podcast. You can get any platform that you want. Spotify, Android, Google, iTunes, Stitcher. There's no excuse. Then you can also find our YouTube in the sidebar. If you're on your mobile, just hit the hamburger menu. You can also find the subscribe to podcast link there. That's all you need to know. But we do need you to support us. That's what keeps us going. Keep those DMs coming through Instagram. Keep the subs coming. Keep the likes, the rates, the reviews. It helps us more than you know. All right, my friends? Until next time, may the Force be with you always.